The place cards were arranged on a long table near the ballroom entrance, each one tucked into folded linen beside pale flowers that looked expensive specifically because they pretended not to. She stood there longer than she should have. Names moved alphabetically down the table in careful gold script. Her uncle, two cousins she hadn't seen in years, a neighbor her parents used to complain about after church, no card for her. At first she assumed there had been a mistake in setup. The kind vendors fixed in 30 seconds. Then her mother walked up beside her holding a champagne flute. That pause gave it away. Not confusion, recognition. "Oh," her mother said lightly. "You came earlier than I expected." Her cousin Brent noticed next. He leaned over the table, scanning theatrically. "Guest seating's only for family now." A quick snort followed it. Not loud. Just enough, someone nearby laughed because people always do when they sense permission. She looked at her mother then, waiting for the correction. Some version of "don't be cruel." Instead, her mother adjusted the cuff of her sleeve and said, "You could earn a spot if you gave more." Not angry, not dramatic, just tired, as if explaining a household rule to someone refusing to understand it. For a second, she genuinely wondered if she'd misheard her. Then memories started arriving all at once, disconnected and ugly in the way true things usually are. 3 months earlier, her father calling to say the venue deposit had bounced, her mother promising repayment after relatives sent gifts. Late-night vendor emails forwarded to her because "you're better with details." The honeymoon package she booked quietly after overhearing her parents admit they couldn't afford one anymore. Every favor had entered the family like a fog. Present everywhere. Mentioned nowhere. She took out her phone. Not for confrontation, just a picture. The empty section of the table looked strange through the camera lens. Intentional in a way it hadn't fully felt before. Her mother noticed the photo and stiffened slightly. "Oh, don't start making this into something." But she already was walking away. Outside, the catering trucks hummed behind the building, beside stacked crates of glassware. Someone from the kitchen smoked near the dumpsters, still wearing an apron. She sat in her car with the air conditioning running against the heat pressing through the windshield. For almost 20 minutes, she did nothing. Then she opened her banking app. The final catering installment, $5,700, had cleared from her account 2 days earlier after her parents said they were temporarily short until everything settled. She disputed the payment authorization calmly. Attaching the invoice showing the booking remained under her name. Then she opened her email. The honeymoon reservation cancellation took less than 4 minutes. Airport transfer included, suite included, non-refundable to the purchaser only. When she finally drove away, guests were still arriving, smiling into the ballroom carrying wrapped boxes tied with ribbon. No one stopped her. The reception apparently continued normally for a while. She learned the details later in fragments from relatives calling under the disguise of checking in. Around dinner service, the catering manager approached her father near the bar after the final processing failed. Quiet conversation, professional posture. Alcohol service temporarily paused until payment verification cleared. People noticed because people always notice interruptions involving staff. Her father apparently became defensive immediately. Her mother blamed the bank. Brent tried making jokes until nobody joined in. Then came the honeymoon email. Her mother discovered it while trying to pull up confirmation numbers to reassure everyone the trip was still scheduled. One cousin told her the silence afterward was the worst part. Not yelling. Just guests suddenly becoming fascinated with their salads while her parents stared at a phone together. By midnight, the family group chat split into separate conversations. Some called her vindictive. Others asked why no one had simply added another chair. One aunt sent only a single message directly to her: "You always pay before people ask." They got used to standing on that. She didn't answer. The next morning, her parents were outside their house with luggage when the airport car service never arrived. Not stranded forever, not ruined. Just inconvenienced in a way they'd never allowed themselves to feel before because someone else usually absorbed the impact first. Her mother called 3 times. Her father once, neither left a voicemail. She spent that morning at a coffee shop downtown deleting her credit card information from vendor portals one by one. Florist, travel site, rental company. Subscription accounts her parents had quietly attached to her email years ago. Around noon, a message finally came from her mother, not an apology. Just, "You embarrassed us." She stared at it for a long time before locking her phone again. Outside the cafe window, traffic moved steadily through the intersection, people crossing with grocery bags and headphones and ordinary problems untouched by hers. For years, she'd confused usefulness with belonging. That was the part settling into her now, not anger, recognition. Her phone buzzed again across the table, but she let it continue vibrating unanswered beside her coffee until the screen finally went dark on its own.